Good afternoon, fam. Twisted Beard, GoodMoFos R5 here with you today. Hope everyone is doing absolutely lovely and your X29s are off to a good start and you like the map you're on and all that good stuff. So this is a video I would have loved to have had a chance to get to about 2 weeks ago, but sadly I'm only able to get to it right now, but I think it'll still be useful for you to watch, and that is a breakdown of the X29 Heroes, the new X29 Heroes, Thorvi and Thorven. So let's jump right into that, waste no time, and start taking a look together. Okay, so first off, and I would say most important, more important than anything else, I would say, okay, about this X29, and this is something to remember every single season, okay? Notice how I don't have these guys recruited yet. Not recruited, there they are, top left. I don't have them yet. The reason for that is because I am not being wasteful, okay? And I would encourage you to not be wasteful as well. Choose the wise course when it comes to your new season hero recruiting. Be a 2 marshmallow kid and reap the rewards down the line for doing so. So Hero Day's right around the corner. Today was a non-cop day, so to burn one's orange tickets today is wasteful when I could be doing that on Hero Day, helping my state, helping my personal cop score, helping me to place higher in the cop rankings, helping my state to have a better chance to win cop and get more of the orange tickets. And this was important, way back when, but it's way more important now since the introduction of the hero equipment tickets. Hero equipment is exceedingly important. It's exceedingly powerful. Look at the statistics, especially when you get entire sets, especially when you start to level them up, especially when it's some of the kind of special hero equipment like Theo and Ragnar, but even the regular ones, Sakura, etc. It's going to be immensely helpful for you to have that equipment, and that equipment takes hero tickets. And hero tickets take orange tickets, and you can get a total of 10 orange tickets per day through exchanging hero tickets, okay? And you need to do that because you need those hero equipment tickets so that you can get, your hero equipment leveled up as high and as fast as possible, because that's hugely beneficial to your overall combat, okay? But 10 orange tickets a day is a lot. If you're not spending a lot of money, it's hard to build tickets at that level, okay? So long story short, it becomes even more important than ever to be not wasteful, to be wise with your orange tickets, okay? Because of the pressure on your ability to build orange tickets because of hero equipment needs. I used to walk into a new Eden with 700-800 tickets, and it was just a joke, easily maxing my heroes at the beginning of each season, both of them, because there was just no other drain on the orange tickets, and they built fast. But that's no longer the case, okay? So again, I'm trying to hammer this into your head. You need to be wise with your orange tickets, and what that means is you need to also be wise with your Eden tickets for the season that you're trying to recruit, so we get those X29 tickets at the end of the X28 season, etc., etc., etc. So Hero Day is right around the corner, okay? So I'm just being patient so I can help my state, help myself, etc., help my alliance, etc., etc., come Hero Day, instead of being wasteful right now. So come Hero Day, here's what I'm going to do, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start using my orange tickets. Okay, I'm gonna use my orange tickets, I'm gonna use my orange tickets, I'm gonna use my orange tickets, and I'm probably gonna use all my orange tickets. And like I said, I used to walk into a new Eden with 600, 700, 800 tickets. I have just over 200 right now. That's it. And I probably, drop a few more bucks on this game than most of you. So it's hard to build tickets right now. So I'm walking in with just over 200. I don't have any delusions about even maxing either one of these heroes right out of the gate as it sits right now. That's how highly I prioritize my hero equipment tickets. I exchange for the 10 every day. It's part of my, login routine. So I will wait for Hero Day. When Hero Day comes, I'll use my orange tickets to open the most hourly chests, get the highest cop score, etc., etc., etc. And as I proceed, you know, guys, there's always a skew, you know? At least the last 5-6 seasons, there's been a major skew with the recruiting of the heroes. As you recruit, it's going to skew one way or the other, almost guaranteed. You're going to be sitting at 24 of one and 12 of the other, or 14 of one and 25 of the other, or whatever the case may be. There's going to be this skew, okay? And the goal is to always max both heroes as fast as possible, especially this season, because both these ones are looking very, very potent, right? So you need and want and need to max both these heroes as soon as possible. Best looking heroes I've seen in several seasons. We'll just get that in as a quick interlude right now. But so you use your orange tickets on Hero Day, and then you see which way the skew is going. Once you've identified the skew, then you use your Eden recruitment tickets to target the hero which you have less of, giving you the best chance to achieve your 34 copies of both at the cheapest and fastest, manner, okay? You don't want to max Thorvi right away while you're still sitting at 10 copies of Thorven, wanting to max Thorven as well, and now having to burn orange ticket after orange ticket after orange ticket when you're only chasing one of the two heroes and the rest is just moot and obsolete. Okay, you guys see what I'm saying? You get it. So this is the important part, and I know it's too late for most of you this season, but remember this advice for next season. Wait till the first Hero Day, be patient, use your orange tickets first, and then go in only after using your orange tickets and identifying the skew, and then use your Eden tickets accordingly. If there is no skew, on the off chance that you're at 20 and 20, then you take your Eden tickets, whether it's 4 or 6 or whatever, and split them right down the middle and go boom boom. So wait till you identify the skew and then use your Eden tickets. Okay, so moving on from that, and that is the most important part. That's more important than going over the hero skills or knowing how to put them in formation at the beginning. That long-term advice right there is the most important. So, okay, here we go. So let's do Thorvi first, okay, guys? I'm jumping in there. So Thorvi, she's cavalry, she's ranged. I know a lot of excited people seeing some new cavalry. I'm one of them. So here we go. Looking at her second skill. And we'll always look at the max level because we want to get them all to the max level ASAP. After a normal attack, there's a 70% chance to deal 450% physical damage to one random enemy squad and grant self 5% evasion rate and 10 fatal blow trigger rate, stackable up to 5 times, lasting until the end of combat. Okay, so basically after each normal attack, you have a over 2/3 chance, and after doing your unit, your lofty specialization properly, you'll actually have a 75% chance because you get that extra 5%. And depending on what other heroes you pair with, obviously those skills percentage can go up as well. But after a normal attack, you got a 3 in 4 shot at dealing 450% physical damage to one random enemy squad and grants self 5% evasion rate and 10% fatal blow trigger rate, stackable up to 5 times, lasting until the end of combat. Okay, so she's going to do a normal attack at least once per round, probably more than once per round, meaning those stackable, the stackable evasion rate and fatal blow trigger are going to stack to their 5 times pretty fast, in the first 2-3 rounds, most likely, depending on who she's paired with, right? But certainly not later than round 5, but it'll be earlier in most instances. So you're going to have that built up by round 2 or 3, most likely. So you can take those numbers that you see and times them by 5. So that would be a 25% evasion rate and a 50 fatal blow trigger rate within short order. The 70% chance to deal the 450% physical damage is the less important of the two aspects of this skill. I mean, yes, it's 450%, but it's physical damage versus skill damage, and it's only hitting 1 legion. So that's not huge. It's the second part of that skill, which is potentially nice, and I think it ties in well with some of her other stuff. And I haven't really looked at them that closely yet, guys, being honest with you. I'm kind of doing a bit of a first review here with you guys right now. I have heard some whispers and such, but we'll get to that here down the line. 100% chance to gain the combo effect. If we click up here on combo, it says normal attack count +1. Okay, so she's going to do 2 normal attacks. She's going to do 2 normal attacks, including in the first round. So that means, yeah, definitely by round 3 at the very latest, she will have done her 5 normal attacks to get those skills times 5. All right. So 100% chance to gain the combo effect, meaning 2 normal attacks, stackable up to 2 times, lasting 2 rounds. Stackable up to 2 times, lasting 2 rounds with 100% chance. Not quite entirely sure how that all makes sense, but 100% chance to gain the combo effect, 2 normal attacks, that I understand. Stackable up to 2 times, lasting 2 rounds. I guess the stackable up to 2 times means she can, I'm not entirely sure what that part means right now, to be perfectly honest with you. The wording sometimes is a little tricky. Second part of that, so she's getting 2 normal attacks, and it's potentially stackable and lasting multiple rounds, but if it's got 100% chance, oh, okay. The reason they're saying lasting 2 rounds is because the skill has a cooldown at the end. Okay, there we go. Now I understand. 100% chance to gain the combo effect, stackable up to 2 times, lasting 2 rounds. So 2 normal attacks. After a normal attack, deal 405% physical damage to all enemy squads and inflict the Devour Mend state, which is attrition rate 50%, lasting 1 round, cooldown 1 round after activation. Click on the Devour Mend. Troop recovery effect is converted to attrition effect. Ouch. Okay, so that's a hell of a skill. Okay, and if she's attacking twice, after a normal attack, do 400. Okay, so this one's way better than her first skill. I mean, exponentially better. So after a normal attack, in the first skill, she's going to deal 450% physical damage to 1 enemy. In this one, after that same attack, due to this skill, with 100% chance, she's also going to deal 405% to all of them. That's big. And inflict the Devour Mend state. This skill's a beast, man. You're knocking out enemy healing to all enemy squads, basically, and turning it into attrition. And you're not only knocking it out, you're turning it into the opposite, like a poison effect almost. And we'll have to see how that cooldown of 1 round after activation plays into the stackable up to 2 times, lasting 2 rounds. That language is all a little bit confusing to me, but clearly going to be a wicked, wicked, wicked skill. And I think the Devour Mend is the only part that goes into cooldown from the way I'm reading it. Well, maybe not. So I guess that's yet to be seen. And if it can go every round versus having a mandatory cooldown or a cooldown, that's going to be a huge aspect to this skill and how effective it is. But a banger skill either way. Big attack. During combat, this squad is immune to counterattacks. After dodging, reduce the skilled cooldown of all friendly squads by 1 round. Upon triggering a fatal blow damage rate plus 80%, stackable up to 5 times, lasting until the end of combat. So this skill ties to the first skill and the second skill, making both of them that much better. So let's go through it real quick now. During combat, this squad is immune to counterattacks, so that's nice in and of itself. After dodging, and it means she's going to dodge every time because she's immune to counterattacks, reduces the skill cooldown of all friendly squads, all means herself included. So what that means is in any given round, if she is attacked, she will automatically negate her own cooldown of the 5th skill, is what that means. And she's almost certainly going to get attacked every round. So that's what that means. So that first part not only gets rid of the cooldown for your other, heroes as well, but it gets rid of the cooldown for her, which is, even more important. So really powerful first half of this skill. Upon triggering a fatal blow, and you will remember the fatal blow is basically going to be jacked up by round 2 because of her other skills. Fatal blow damage rate plus 80% stackable up to 5 times. That would be 400%, lasting until the end of combat. So there's no, 2-round cooldown or something like that. So that's just going to keep stacking. And she's going to get a lot of fatal blows because of that first skill. Fatal blow trigger rate is going to be 50% up from this first skill. So she is a wicked, awesome hero. The proof of the pudding's in the eating, and we got to see her, fully in combat yet. And I did hear through the grapevine, I'm not saying there's any validity to it, but I did hear through the grapevine yesterday that the devs nixed her a little bit due to complaints that she was overpowered. They kind of took her down a notch, if not technically to her skills, at least in the tangible reality of her skills. So we'll see. But by all accounts and by all indicators, she's looking pretty badass. Okay, so let's see who they have her paired with here briefly. As far as what the recommended is. So Cyrus, 1 round of prep, 65% chance to deal 550% damage to 2 random enemy squads, preventing them from restoring troop power for 1 round. This skill has an 80% chance to bypass the prep stage and be cast directly. So I'm just looking for direct tie-ins to her and basically why they're suggesting these heroes. We all know Cyrus is a good hero, but as far as his skills go, I don't see a direct connection to Thorvi here necessarily. All friendly cavalry squads gain the Storm Cavalry effect when casting a combat skill, deals 40% more damage. When launching an additional attack, damage taken is reduced by 40%, lasting 2 rounds. When any of your squads triggers the Storm Cavalry effect, Cyrus gains 50% of its effect, stackable for up to 5 layers, lasting until the end of the battle. Now here you can see the direct tie-in because of that second part there, when launching an additional attack. And Thorvi's going to be launching a lot of additional attacks, okay? So this is going to trigger, this skill's going to help her, and her triggering it is also going to help Cyrus. So they have good synergy together on this second skill for Cyrus. That's, I'm sure, one of the reasons that they're suggesting him to pair with her. Let's look at this last one. Cyrus squad has a 10% chance to dodge. After each successful dodge, randomly gains one of the following 3 effects. First to attack. Cyrus squad has a 10% chance to dodge. After each successful dodge, randomly gains one of the following 3 effects. First to attack / sober / 30% increase in the casting chance of combat skills and additional attacks. Okay, so there's the tie-in right there. More additional attacks for Thorvi, and she's doing all that huge extra physical damage with each attack she does. With those additional attacks, with a 50% chance. Okay, so and even so whenever Cyrus does a dodge, not only is he going to get one of those skills, but there's a 1 in 2 chance that he'll give it to the other friendly heroes as well, Thorvi being one of them. And then there's a 1 in 3 chance that she's going to get that 30% increase in the casting chance of combat skills and additional attacks. If the dodge fails, they all become sober. Obviously, that helps. So yeah, I mean, the direct tie-in, other than the general, all skills are generally helpful, but the direct tie-in here is that first part. If Cyrus dodges, he's then going to have a 50% chance to give Thorvi a skill that she'll have a 1 in 3 chance of getting more attacks and then doing more skill damage. That's just going to give her even more attacks and jack up that extra damage even more. So that's why Cyrus, I guess that makes sense. I can see why the pairing, plus he's a beast in the front row, and she's not much of a defensive player, so you're gonna need somebody chunky up front. What's going on there? Then Percival. Okay, let's look at his skills. 80% chance to deal 300% skill damage to all enemy squads, reducing their troop power recovery by 80%. If they are already subject to reduced troop power recovery or cannot recover at all, reduces their resistance by 200%, stackable for up to 4 layers, lasting until the battle ends. So basically, Thorvi is going to be knocking out their ability to heal. So the second part of this skill is going to kick in. He's going to have an 80% chance to deal 300% skill damage to all enemy squads and reduce their resistance by 200%, stackable for up to 4 times, lasting till the battle ends. So that pairs really nicely with Thorvi. So especially for the free to play, I mean, I can really see it right there. And I've always thought Percival has potential, especially for the free to play right now. So it's nice to see him potentially getting some use here. That's a very nice tie-in directly to Thorvi. Next one. Each round, 100% chance for all your cavalry squads to gain the dodging effect, becoming immune to the next 1 attacks. Meanwhile, each round, 100% chance for all your... So that's really good for Cyrus, actually. That first part's better for Cyrus than it is for Thorvi, because she's already got the 100% dodging. But if Cyrus has the 100% dodging, that means he's going to fire that last skill every round, which means every round there's going to be a 50% chance that Thorvi gets one of those 3 effects, and hopefully it's the last one of the 3 as often as possible to really jack her attacks up. So that's a little finicky, but this 100% dodge from Percival pairs well to the aspect of Cyrus, which pairs well with Thorvi. So each round, 100% chance for all your cavalry squads to gain the dodging effect, becoming immune to the next 1 attacks. That also helps Cyrus stay a chunky first row hero for you in this combo of 3. Meanwhile, 50% chance to increase the trigger rate of the hero skills by 10% for 1 round. So that's obviously great. That's going to help Thorvi. That's going to help Cyrus. Next. Each round, 100% chance for all your cavalry... Oh, no, we just looked at that one. No? Sorry. Yeah, we just looked at that one. Okay, last one. After launching a normal attack, different effects will be triggered based on the target enemy squad's unit type. Reduces damage dealt by footman squads by 20% for 1 round, 100% chance to disarm cavalry squads for 1 round, 100% chance to silence archer squads for 1 round. After launching a normal attack. See, the question here is if this just pertains to Percival or if this pertains to all your heroes. I wish they would have spelled that out a little bit better. If this only pertains to Percival, then it's not a very good skill and doesn't really tie to Thorvi at all. If this is for all your heroes in the Legion, Thorvi's going to be launching a shitload of normal attacks, so that's just going to beast mode her even more. So I guess that's the big question there. Okay. So, looking at, a little glitch there, looking at Thorvi's skills, looking at the two recommended ones, going with what I've heard through the grapevine, I'll give you the the end result here, at least as I can best project and predict right now. So I know less about the free-to-play options. Percival does look solid in that mid-row. You know how recommended is, though. It's not always at least 100% accurate, but it does give you a pretty good idea of what is going to be, useful and possible. And I think in this instance, the best combo for Thorvi is not going to include Percival, but it is going to include Cyrus. And the best free-to-play might very well include Percival, okay? So, from what I have looked at, from what I've seen, from what I've heard here initially, we're looking at 3 top combos for Thorvi overall right now, okay? Not factoring in free-to-play versus spender, just looking at the very best of what's available. From what I've heard and gleaned, the 2 top ones both contain Cyrus in the first row. So it's Cyrus Ragnar Thorvi or Cyrus Theo Thorvi. Theodora. The other one that I heard was Quixote Thorvi Cyrus. Okay, but I heard that one was not the best out of the 3. From the little bit I've heard, it seems that from the minimal testing that's been done so far, Cyrus Ragnar Thorvi is tops. I'm more keen to use Cyrus Theodora Thorvi. If it's apples to apples, if Ragnar's obviously, if Ragnar's a lot better, obviously that's what I'm going to do. But if it's apples to apples, basically, in terms of results, okay, I'm definitely going to go with Theo, because you need to think beyond. So this will be top legion. So whatever's the best here is what I'm going to do, because this is going to be my hardest hitting legion, okay? But in a perfect world, I would rather keep Theo here than Ragnar, because Ragnar is still very, very useful in that Herald Legion, and I don't know exactly what I'm sure I'd find a place for, but I don't know exactly what I would do at Theo with this point once I take her away from the Quixote Cyrus combo. Okay, so thinking about the totality of my legions, for me, if Ragnar and Theodora have a comparable performance, I will go with Theodora. So it'd be Cyrus, Theodora, Thorvi, okay? If one wanted to go pure cavalry, you have the option that's shown right here. There's also going to be the option, Roland potentially, and obviously Quixote as well. So, if you wanted to go with probably what's the strongest cavalry, it's probably going to be Quixote, Thorvi, and Cyrus together, I think. So anyways, there's some, questions about what other heroes you have and, what you're trying to do and all that. But from what I've heard right now for Thorvi, for, not factoring in spending or not spending, the top 3 are Cyrus Ragnar Thorvi and Cyrus Theodora Thorvi and Quixote Thorvi Cyrus. So, free to play, take Cyrus out. I did hear something about Robin Hood. That would make sense because he gives more normal attacks, so it'd be Robin Hood in the center, maybe Quixote in the front. She does pair well with Quixote. Let's look at Quixote really quickly here. but I don't think you... Well, I'll get to that in a second. So Quixote... After launching a normal attack, 100% chance to deal 300% physical damage to the farthest enemy squad within the valid range and steal 100% of the target's might, stackable for up to 8 layers, lasting until the battle ends. So he's going to drain their ability to hit and hurt. Not that that's a direct tie-in necessarily. 1 round of prep, 65% chance to deal 530% skill damage to 2 to 3 random enemy squads with a 75% chance to ban their healing. So that would work well with Percival as well. That would, between him and Thorvi, that's pretty much going to ensure that, you know, their resistance is totally drained, and, you know, Quixote at the same time is draining their might, and they're going to have no healing. They're going to have attrition. During the period of the prep skill, Don can launch a counterattack equaling 400% of the damage. Okay, that's not a direct. Don enters a bold status. When his squad launches an attack, ignores 100% of the target's effect that can increase or reduce the damage taken. Okay, not a direct tie-in either. But yeah, so potentially Quixote, Percival, Thorvi might be really nice for free-to-play. Experiment with Roland as well. Experiment with Robin Hood as far as turning her into a mixed legion. And, you know, possibly Oliver, but I don't think so. Who else we got in the mains here? Yeah, you know. So that basically that's what you're looking at for top legions for Thorvi. You know, in terms of overall and free to play, there's some ideas for you as well. Now let's look at Thorven. Now I'll say this now, my big hope for Thorvi, and here's where I think she makes the biggest impact or non-impact, depending on how this works. Okay, so as we talked about the 3 top legions for her, okay? They are, so far as we know, Cyrus, Ragnar, Thorvi, Cyrus, Theodora, Thorvi, or Quixote, Thorvi, Cyrus. And I'm not sure on the order on that last one. I'd have to look closer. My big hope is that it's one of the first 2 or something else. I would love to be able to break Quixote away from that very top legion, you know, the Cyrus, Theo, Quixote legion, and, you know, basically just having Theo replaced with Thorvi and having that still be tops. I'm hoping one of those other ones is tops, better than having Quixote there, because what that means is then we can break Quixote away without hurting our most powerful legion overall. If he's needed to make that your most powerful legion, you have to do it. But if there's something that's going to be better than Quixote, that's going to free up Quixote, and that's going to mean that you're likely going to be able to add another legion based around Quixote, or with Quixote as a key player in terms of one of your 5 top legions. And it's yet to be seen to what extent that legion is powerful. You know, is it better than the Herald, Geraint, Ragnar legion? Is it going to hit harder? Is it going to be better than El Harwa and, Henry? You know, what's it going to... and Zhuge Liang and Henry, you know, where's it gonna rank in terms of, you know, overall? So, I mean, it's quite possible with Quixote being freed up that this recommended legion right here ends up being the second most powerful legion. You know, who knows? This could be better than the Herald Legion, better than the Henry Legion. So that's the real question. You know, I can't speak to the Alex and Achilles Legion as much because I don't have those heroes, but I've seen enough of them to know they're not the best combo out there, at least as far as what I've witnessed. Okay, so that's the big question. I think the biggest overall question within these heroes is if Quixote is able to be pulled away from Cyrus and Thorvi while, without damaging that legion, while leaving something better, in the wake. And thus being able to pull Quixote away to this Quixote, Thorven, and potentially Oliver combo. So let's take a look at that right now. Let's take a look at that. I have a feeling the recommended here is going to be at least partially right, assuming we can move Quixote out as just described. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay. 100% chance to drain 70% defense from 2 random enemy squads and transfer it to the front row squad, stackable up to 6 times, lasting until the end of combat. So that's a great skill. It's doing, best of both worlds. It's hurting the enemy while helping your side. Okay, so it's not just hurting the enemy, it's not just helping your side, it's helping your side while hurting the enemy. It's basically stealing your enemy's supplies and thus using them for your own war effort, more or less. And it's got a 100% chance. This is a great skill. 100% chance to drain 70% defense from 2 random enemy squads and transfer it to the front row squad, stackable up to 6 times, lasting until the end of combat. That's just going to make that front row legion such a beast. Just strong, strong, strong. Chunky, chunky, chunky. Okay, great skill. Next one. After a normal attack, there is a 100% chance to drain 70% attack from 2 random enemy squads and transfer it to the back row squads, stackable up to 6 times, lasting until the end of combat. If Thorven has drained both attack and defense from the same target in a round, the target's damage taken plus 50%. I'm just wow. So that's after a normal attack. The first one has no contingent. He doesn't have to attack or anything like that, but he is going to do a normal attack every round. So after or he should, outside of strange circumstances, and maybe multiple each round, depending on how things go. So after a normal attack, so it's basically going to happen every round, maybe multiple times a round. After a normal attack, there's a 100% chance to drain 70% attack from 2 random enemy squads and transfer it to the back row squad, stackable up to 6 times. That would be 420%, lasting until the end of combat. Notice how there's no 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3 round, thing lasting 1 round, 2 round. It's whole time. It can keep building just like the first skill. If Thorven has drained both attack and defense from the same target in a round, the target's damage taken plus 50%. So basically there's a 66% chance, because he's going to hit 1 out of 3 in the first round, and then he's going to hit 2 out of 3 in the second round. So with those 2 shots, you have a 2 and 3 chance that you're going to hit that same one that you hit from the second skill, right? So the last part basically means there's also a 66% chance that one of the 3 enemy heroes is going to have damage taken by plus 50%. So just a wicked skill. Just a wicked, wicked skill. I know all the hype is around Thorvi, but God, I really like Thorven, man. He's a friggin' beast, dude. Scary guy. And it makes sense because Oliver is a heavy hitter with shitty defense, and Quixote's, chunky in that first row, strong in that first row. So Thorven's basically just turning Quixote into this immovable block in your first row while giving Oliver even more jacked up attack in your back row. So I really like the recommended here on the face of it. We'll take a closer look at it here in just a moment, but let's carry on. Last skill. When a friendly cavalry squad begins preparing a skill, front row squad takes 30% less damage and gain the taunt effect, lasting until the end of the round. So let's read through it all first. Okay, so there's that. For every 2 combat skills cast by a friendly cavalry squad, all friendly squads recover a certain number of troops, recovery rate plus 100%. For every 2 additional attacks performed by a friendly cavalry squad, back row squad deals plus 30% damage and gain the targeted effect. Targeted effect means ignore the enemy's dodging when dealing damage, lasting until the end of this round, and taunt means they take the attacks. Yes. Wow, again, just beastie. So strong. I mean, I honestly, I don't know, man. I know everybody's all hyped up about Thorvi, but Thorven is a friggin' monster if he performs as is being advertised here. So let's go through that piece by piece. When a friendly cavalry squad begins preparing a skill, and remember, Don does potentially prepare skills. We'll take a look at Oliver here as well. I can't remember on him, but I think he might. When a friendly cavalry squad begins preparing a skill, front row squads take 30% less damage and gain the taunt effect, meaning the attacks are going to be directed at that first row, and they're going to take 30% less damage, and you've stolen 70% times 6 defense and given it to them, so they got 420% extra defense, plus 30% less damage, plus they're taking all the attacks. So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's really, really, really good. Okay, next part. For every 2 combat skills cast by a friendly cavalry squad, all friendly squads recover a certain number of troops, recovery rate 100%. 100% is pretty good. And you know who casts a shitload of combat skills is Oliver. And not to say nothing of Thorven and Don. So that's going to be your healing. And you're going to have a lot of healing coming in from that. There's going to be a lot because you're definitely he's a pure cavalry guy, so you're going to have 2 other cavalry with you, which means that, you know, you're going to be getting that 100% recovery just left and right. I mean, look at Bleeding Steed and you know, even the healer and how their healing pales in comparison to that, you know. That's a really, really powerful 1/3 aspect of one skill. I mean, that's a huge, again, that's going to provide a lot of healing. And a lot of healing, and you know, healing's always most welcome. So yeah, lots of healing coming in the second part of that skill. And then we got for every 2 additional attacks performed by a friendly cavalry squad, back row squads deal plus 30% damage and gain the targeted effect, lasting until the end of the round. Well, Don's got that counterattack skill. That means he's going to be attacking a lot. There's going to be a lot of additional attacks. So that means, you know, you can basically count more or less on Oliver more often than not, dealing an additional 30% damage and gaining the targeted attack, which again is going to ignore the enemy's dodging when dealing damage. So Thorven, I almost like him more than Thorvi. I mean, he is just... But Thorvi with that attrition thing on the healing is really mean. But they are both just mean. Mean. Just so, I mean, unless I've seen heroes before and their skills looked wonderful and then in practice they just sucked. Attila. Others. But I really think Thorvi and Thorven look particularly excellent. This is the best 1-2 hero combo for any season that I've seen in an exceedingly long time, maybe ever, if they live up to expectation here. So now let's look at Quixote one more time, and let's look at Oliver as it relates to Thorven. After launching a normal attack, 100% chance to deal 300% physical damage to the farthest enemy squad within the valid range and steal 100% of the target's might, stackable for up to 8 layers, lasting until the battle ends. So he's going to be giving himself a lot of extra might, okay? So in addition to getting his defense all beefed up, he's going to beef up his might himself, okay? So he's just going to be wicked in the front. Okay, and that's going to lead into his counterattack skill. He's just going to be ridiculous. Okay. Let's go on. 1 round of prep. Okay, so yeah, we did have something. We'll have to go back at that and look at the prep part one more time. But he does have a skill with prep. So 1 round of prep, 65% chance to deal 530% skill damage to 2 to 3 random enemy squads. with a 75% chance to ban their healing, lasting 2 rounds. During the prep period of the skill, Don can launch counterattack, equaling 400% of the damage against the one that attacks him. Okay, so where that really ties in is that taunt effect from Thorven that is going to go to Don, meaning while he's always going to absorb the attacks, but while he's prepping, he's now going to have the taunt skill on him. That means he's going to soak all the attacks, and he's going to do this 400% counter punching, just left, right, and center right there. And that's also going to fuel some of those other skills that are powered by skills being fired that we saw in Thorven 2 in his final skill, I believe. So pairs really well. The taunt from Thorven pairs really, really well with this skill. Okay. Don enters a bold status. When his squad launches an attack, ignores 100% of the target's effect that can increase or reduce the damage taken when being attacked. Ignores 100% of the attacker's effect that can increase or reduce the damage dealt. So again, helps with just more extra defensive skills as it relates to him soaking attacks with that taunt skill from Thorven. So there is a direct tie in there as well. So as we know, Don is free to play. So I think he is definitely, assuming he can be spared from the Cyrus Thorvi Legion, and let's cross our fingers that he can be, he goes with Thorven in that front row. The only other possibility I can think of, really, would be if somehow Quixote and Roland is maybe better than this combo. Quixote, Roland, Thorven. I don't know what else it could be. Caesar's basically on the bench. Don definitely takes the front with Thorven. Thorven definitely takes the middle, and then you need a hitter in the back. And if you can do that with pure cavalry, you probably want to do that with pure cavalry because the Legion's going to march faster, as you know. And as far as the best cavalry hitter, generally speaking, that is not otherwise being used, especially for free to play, it's going to be Oliver. So let's jump into Oliver's skills here real quick. When Oliver carries different unit types, different effects are triggered. Cavalry plus 35% counter effect against cavalry and archers, minus 35% counter effect taken from them. So that's his worst skill, always. Okay, it doesn't really tie in directly as far as I could see. Each round, 100% chance to deal 725% skill damage to 2 to 3 random enemy squads. Oliver then enters a weakened state, unable to deal damage until the current round ends. So he's going to be dealing, between 1450 and 2175% skill damage every round right there. But between all the enemies he's going to be hitting. So that's a great attack skill. Great attack skill. And then lastly, after each normal attack, Oliver triggers effects based on the unit type. Archer, he's not going to be an archer. Cavalry reduces the target's might and resistance by 150%, stackable up to 4 layers for 2 rounds, with a 65% chance to remove debuffs. So he can clear debuffs after every normal attack, and he's going to have a normal attack pretty much every round. He's going to trigger that cavalry effect, which reduces the target of the normal attacks might and resistance by 150%, so that's draining them even further. Quixote's draining them, Thorven's draining them, and Oliver's draining them. Stackable for up to 4 layers, 2 rounds, and then 65% chance to remove the debuffs. I believe that's just for him. But again, I think this Legion looks absolutely superb. It's got everything you want in a Legion, really. It's really got everything you want. It's got a hugely powerful first row hero, both in terms of attack and defense, who's also going to be doing mad counterattacks left and right. You're sapping the enemy's ability to fight with Thorven. with all of them to an extent, but especially with Thorven. And then you've just got a big hitter back there in that back row who's going to be knocking out, 1,500 to 2K plus damage per round. So that recommended Legion makes absolute sense to me. I can't think, I don't know what would necessarily be better unless you're potentially pulling over like Cyrus, but I don't even necessarily think that, and you don't want to do that because you want Cyrus to be able to stay with Thorvi. So looking at everything that's going to be available, that recommended there looks really, really, really good. It's all there. You got your healing, you got your debuff clearing, it's just all there to great extent. So I feel like that's recommended looks really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to speculate, I don't think, on what looks like it's going to be better, because that just looks like it's nail on the head to me. Because Thorven's definitely a pure cavalry legion, so, that basically takes mixed legion right out. There's not going to be anybody better for the front row than Quixote. And there's not going to be anybody better for the back row than Roland, I don't think. So I think this is the combo. So, yeah, I mean, that basically sums it up, guys. The big question that everything hinges on is there going to be a combo featuring Thorvi where the best option is not to use both Cyrus and Quixote? And if the answer is yes, that opens up a lot of doors. That opens up the door for Thorven. I mean, I think he's definitely, this Legion, if I had to speculate right now, if you have the Alex and Achilles Legion, I still think this Legion probably makes top 4, and it bumps the Al Harwa Legion back to your defense queue. So you would probably use the new Cyrus Thorvi as number 1. You'd probably use either this or the Alex combo as your number 2. Whichever one is slightly less powerful, that's your number 3. And then your number 4 Legion falls to the Herald Legion, and your defense queue becomes the Al Harwa Legion. That's assuming you don't have Beowulf. Not many people have Beowulf. So I think it's a really impactful season for Heroes. So I mean, even if you have the Alex combo and the Cyrus combo, I think the Thorven combo still is going to make top 3 most likely, and top 4 for sure. It's possible maybe like Harold, Geraint, and Ragnar is still slightly better than this Thorven combo, but I could see this combo being substantially better than that. So anyways, that's my prognosis, my friends. 2 really important heroes. I would say pretty much drop what you're doing and start chasing these guys. Most impactful heroes we've seen in a very, very, very long time. So I'm excited about Thorven. I'm excited about Thorvi. I'm excited for Hero Day so that I can start my recruiting. I don't know if I'll be using them before I max them, but hopefully I'll find a way to get them maxed somehow before the real combat begins. But until then, I'll keep them on the bench, but do some general testing. I don't like using heroes before they're essentially maxed. But yeah, there we go, guys. I hope this was helpful. Drop some comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're hoping. Let us know what you've tried. Let us know, your experiments and how they're going. Yeah, guys. I guess the one option, too, is using Thorven and Thorvi together, but hopefully that's not the case either, because we want to separate these two and, like Cyrus, Thorven, Thorvi. I hope that's not the case. Hopefully we can separate these guys. But from what the little preliminary info I've heard is sounding like that's going to be the case. But let's hope for that. Let's hope we can break apart Cyrus and Quixote, and let's hope Thorven and Thorvi don't need to go together. And I don't think they do, though. I think they're both better suited with the other heroes that we were looking at than they are with each other, even as powerful as both of them are individually. I think they have better synergy with the combos we were talking about. So, but yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you're trying out. Let us know what you're what you're feeling. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling with us. Do say hello in the comments. Give the video a like. Give us a subscription. Share the video on your Viber and your Discord and all that good stuff. And best of luck this X29. Appreciate all you guys. Best wishes from all of us here at the GoodMoFos. And we will see you on the next one. Cheers, fam.